Hello, everyone. Today we will look at a quick game played by one of my students. It was a 3-minute game. His opponent was rated a little bit over 1800, and there was some tactics, some interesting ideas. So let's take a look. The opening d4, d5, c4, Queen's Gambit. Black has a number of choices he can take. Queen's Gambit accepted. Queen's Gambit declined. The Slav defense. He can even try something like e5, which is the Albans, or knight c6, which is the Chigorin defense. Black plays g6, which is not terrible. White can now take, if black takes back, we can play knight c3 and take advantage of that queen. Charlotte plays knight c3 right away. And black plays c6, which is absolutely fine. Now, if Charlie takes, his opponent takes back with the pawn. So Charlie develops his knight. Black brings out the bishop, and so far the position makes perfect sense. And Charlie develops. Bishop g5 is not a terrible move. I probably would not put this bishop on g5. I would maybe put it on f4 instead, but it's not the end of the world. Usually, the bishop on g5 makes a little bit more sense if it pins the knight. Okay, black asks the bishop a question. The bishop drops back to f4. Black argues that he can play e5 eventually, and he will have nice control of the center. The downside for black right now is this is the knight's favorite square, and also if black king castles, he's going to be a little bit open because of this diagonal. Okay, black plays knight h6. Makes perfect sense. He's trying to play knight f7, and then something like e5. Charlie improves his queen with tempo. Maybe he can even castle long. Okay, black continues with his plan. And Charlie plays e3. E3 is not a bad move. It does break the connection between the queen and the bishop. We might possibly have tried to go along with the previous idea, something like pawn h4 and castle long. Of course, it's risky because your own king is open. This move is fine. It does break this connection, however. So we are less likely to try something like this. Okay, black fights for the center. That's perfectly expected. Charlie drops his bishop back. The point is, if we take, black takes with the pawn, we'd have to drop back anyway. We do open up this line in the process, which is good, but at the same time, black does get this line for his rook. Okay, so Charlie drops the bishop right away. Black gains more space, which looks scary. That looks like a very intimidating pawn chain, but it's nothing special. I like Charlie's move. A lot of people would go here, but then the knight simply will get trapped. So Charlie drops the knight back home, and he will come out over here and serve a very good purpose. Okay, black castles, nothing special. The knight comes back out, as expected. And black is trying to do something on the queen side. Maybe he will play something like b5. Okay, knight f4. Knight f4 makes sense. If he plays g4, the king side gets a little, g5, the king gets a little bit weakened. Otherwise, we're getting ready to bring our pieces out. We also triple attacking this one, of course. And it's not so easy to deal with this, honestly. There is a similar idea in the French, by the way. Let me show you the comparison, because one thing about learning openings, even the ones which you don't play, is those ideas, those opening ideas, can transfer from one opening into the other. Let me show you really quickly. There is a line in the French which goes e46, d4, d5. The advanced French c5, c3. Black puts more pressure on the center. White supports the pawn more. Queen b6, and now one of White's main moves, bishop e2, get ready to castle. One thing in the French is Black puts a lot of pressure on this pawn. So here Black can take. After White takes back, Black can play knight e7. And the point is he wants to just play knight f5 and attack this pawn 3 times. And it's really weird. If White plays a very obvious looking move, castle, after knight f5, there is just no way to defend this pawn. It does look like White has bishop e3, but of course this bishop is busy over here, so this pawn will drop. As you see, there is a similar idea here. Again, there is pressure on this pawn. Black can take, of course, but then White bishop becomes good, and Black will regret moving his f-pawn. So this is why it's useful to study openings which you don't necessarily play. Okay, Black played knight h6. I think he just completely ignored that this pawn exists. Charlie wins a pawn. And life is just wonderful. Black plays knight f5, which kind of makes sense. Maybe trying to eliminate this bishop. And Charlie is setting up for some tactics. And this is something that Black should be very careful about. And Black plays a move which he wanted to play. He takes the bishop. But this is important. White has not castled yet. And so when White takes, this rook opens up. And when there is pressure here and pressure here, that king is not going to be very comfortable. In the game, Black just completely ignored everything and played f5. And here already, White has a beautiful two-move checkmate. I'm going to pause and let you find it. And the move is, we start with a double check. We play knight e7. We also reveal the check by the bishop. When the king is in double check, he has to move. And when he moves, we play knight here, checkmate. Alternatively, we have another double check. We have knight f6. And after the king goes to the corner, rook here is checkmate. So this rook ends up playing an important role. Charlie chose the first option. After the king moves, knight checkmate. Okay, nice and quick win. Beating 8 and player rated 1800. Great job to Charlie. And a lesson for everyone is learning openings could be useful because you will never know when the idea from one opening will be applied to the opening which you actually play. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll be back soon. Thank you.